About the arrest of an East Texas teacher accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student. Yesterday, Henderson police arrested 35-year-old Catherine Lorraine Pryor. She's accused of not only having an improper relationship with a student, but also possessing child pornography and indecency with a child.
Arrest documents reveal more about what led to the arrest of Catherine Pryor, an agriculture teacher at Henderson High School. The affidavit indicates a Henderson police detective was made aware of the alleged relationship on Tuesday. The detective called the underage student's mom, who said she had gone through her son's phone Monday night, specifically his Instagram account, and found sexually explicit messages had been sent and received by Pryor. It's something the boy confirmed in an interview with authorities. In another interview with Catherine Pryor, she told police she had touched the student inappropriately while driving him home from school, and said he had been a student of hers at Henderson High School since the beginning of the school year. In a statement, a Henderson ISD spokesman said the district is cooperating with law enforcement and confirmed that Pryor, who was hired in 2019, submitted her resignation today.
And Pryor was booked into the Rusk County Jail with bonds totaling $150,000. Jail records indicate she has since been released.